I'm going to steer you from your legs. Okay? I'm not actually going to touch your legs.
Okay.
I'm going to steer from back here.
Okay.
Okay, but this is what steering from your legs feels like.
Okay.
Okay, so when you're ready, go ahead and go. I'm not going to talk to you at all. So I just have a feeling on both of your shoulders, right? But really what I'm doing to steer you is placing your leg where I want it to go through you following mine.
Okay.
So I'm in step with you. Now I can lengthen your stride. Now I can turn you. And I'm thinking about the positioning of your legs. So now I'm going to slow you and stop you. And what made that successful is that I was in step with you and thinking about when your foot was coming through the air and where to put it down.
Okay.
Maybe something that really sucks. Now I'm going to steer you from your head. Are you ready?
I already don't like this. I don't like this at all.
Okay, so that sucks, right?
Yes.
Okay. That's how most of us steer our horses is right rein to turn right, left rein to turn left,
Right.
stop, go, right?
Yeah.
So I'm going to steer you from your head one more time, and I want you to tell me what's the last thing that goes on the turn. So first thing that goes on the turn is your head, right? What's the last thing?
Well, hang on. No, actually, kind of like I feel like it's my middle.
Okay?
Yeah.
Your right foot is the last thing to turn.
Oh, yes.
So when
Okay.
I turn you to the right, your head goes, your
Yeah.
shoulders dip, your hips dip, your left hip is the highest.
That was a big difference.
So when I turn you to the right, so say I'm pulling your nose this way, this hip comes up, this hip goes down, I fall into my shoulder. So if I'm turning, the last thing to go would be my outside hind leg.
Okay.
Now if you want a very stable horse to turn, what do you want under their body? The outside hind leg.
Yes, so that they can lift everything.
So if you turn from their head, you lose the outside hind and they're basically pivoting around their inside shoulder. Whereas if I turn you from your feet, your head just happens to go with the turn, stays in the middle of your shoulders. You have two legs to balance on, your rib cage is nice and free. And you could make all of those turns really effectively because I was riding your feet,
Okay.
not your head.
Okay.
So most of us get on a horse, say you have a horse that's like in the old cowboy movies, they're sitting and they're like, I'll get you, Billy Joe. And then it's like, yeah, and they rip their head off and turn that way. So the head goes first and the body just kind of follows suit. And the horse is always scrambling to catch up to their head,
Okay.
which is
Yeah.
especially noticeable when we go to stop them or turn them, that they're plowed into their shoulders. And then we spend all this time trying to get them off of their shoulders, and that's because we force them to be on their shoulders.
Right.
So in that instance, it's not really nice to take their shoulders away because that's all they have.
Right.
So if you turn your horse like this and they start falling in and you're like, move that shoulder away, what else do they have?
It's pretty unfair.
Okay, you can stop. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna steer Jess from the shoulders to turn instead of pulling the reins to turn. So what Elizabeth is gonna do is she's gonna have kind of an equal feel in both reins. She's gonna make a cross on the diagonal, and actually for the video's sake, let's go from that corner to just in front of the poles so
Okay.
you don't get so far away. Like you don't have to cross the whole arena, just kind of turn that way and then follow the wall.
Okay.
And you're gonna turn your horse, so when you get to this corner, you're gonna start to turn your outside hip, then the inside one straight, then the outside one, then the inside straight, then the outside one, then the inside straight. Just like we did in the in-hand work, where it's a little turn, a little straight, so that you're eventually looking at where you want her to go.
Okay.
Your reins are basically going to accompany that turn, so it's gonna be kind of like that. Then you'll be pointed a straight shot where you wanna go, and you just flow there.
Okay.
As opposed to turn right, oh, we're all wobbly, hold on, I gotta fix all this stuff. Okay, let's go.
As opposed to our normal turn.
So her shoulders will initiate the turn, her hind legs will follow and support and make her straight. Now it might not be perfect, and that's okay, but we're riding the whole body on a turn. Okay?
Okay.
Off you get. So you're gonna ride to that corner. Okay, now start turning your left hip off the wall and start turning your right hip off the wall. And just tap her a little with the whip there. Now start looking right at that white cap post. Perfect. Now just ride both your hips that way. Perfect. So that's riding her shoulders. and not pulling her head. Okay, so when you get there, we're going to turn left. So when you turn left, let's go ahead and actually turn left here. So turn your right hip to the gate on your left. Now point your left hip at it. Now look at the tree. Now look straight ahead. Now look at the fence. Now look at that post. Now just straighten your hip and you're cruising. Want to try that one more time? Yeah. It's fun, right?
Feels good and she hasn't gotten time.
It's basically you turning from your center. Okay, so we're going to turn around. So when you get to that blue barrel corner, you're going to go that way.
Okay, the opposite.
Yeah. Right. So you're going to turn her by basically bringing your right hip. So your hips follow her front leg. So you always make the aid in rhythm with your legs, okay? So you're going to turn right hip. That's it. And look over there. Look at how relaxed she looks. Now point your left hip over at that gate. So she starts to straighten out a little. Now point your right hip at the gate. You got it. Now you're going to start to turn to the right. So start to swing your left hip around to the arena light on your right. Now your right hip that way. Beautiful. Now look at Austin and Felix and continue your right turn. Beautiful. Yeah, that's it. That's all there is to it. A weight aid is extremely intuitive to a horse. You don't have to go in and do all these extra things if you're in time with the legs and you're supporting equally on both sides with your weight. It's kind of like, nice. Very well done. It's just you shift your weight seat bone by seat bone, step by step, and they want to stay centered. They want to be in balance.
Yeah.
They don't want to be pulled here, squeezed here, and then they resist, and then we have to do more stuff, and then we think, oh, we have all these training issues, when really we just didn't present it in a way that made sense initially.
It felt good.
Good.
Yeah. It felt, even when she wasn't quite with me, she'd get back with me, and I never felt her kind of get bracy and stiff.
And then it's more of a dance than like go here, go here, go here, go here, doing these little tricks.
It also felt very rhythmic. We make our turns when we're not lined up like that together. The speed will go up and down, and that was the same speed.
Yes.
That was nice.
So then your seat makes all of anything you ever want starts here, and then your hands and legs just support that.
Okay.
So it isn't that you're not allowed to use your reins or legs. It's just that it comes from here. Your hands and legs support that request, and then slowly you start to educate the horse to what does a rein mean and what does a leg mean. But we tend to start there. We tend to go right rein means turn. Forget all this crap that happened here. Forget how your body feels. I'll fix that later. Right?
Yep.
So it's teaching the horse the intuitive weight aid part first, and then you slowly add in what does a leg mean when it's put here.
Right. Nice. Thank you.
Good job, Elizabeth.
Thank you.